Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first post Joe Montana episode, right?
It feels kind of like I don't know. It's like when you're still at school after the bell rings, but we're gonna make the most of it.
Of course, we're going to make the most of it because it is the holiday mailbag, and Santa's got a bag full of goodies, and we've got a bag full of questions, and some of them are goodies.
Thank you to everyone who wrote in a question. We appreciate it
Yeah,
because it means we don't have to watch a movie this week.
which is key, especially in December,
Yes.
because they October and December are the busiest months for F this movie co. All right, so we'll start with matinee mode. Had a couple of questions, so we'll start with what's the best movie adjacent Christmas gift you've both ever received that wasn't an actual movie? I was trying to think of, is it my brain immediately went to video games.
Hmm.
And I was thinking of like the Tiger Electronics games that I always wanted to be better than they were, but I was just so excited that like the face of it was Home Alone 2 or like Batman. And then like it did, and I would like trick myself into thinking that the game was fun when it really wasn't all that fun. But I guess the best movie adjacent gift was when I got a Nintendo Entertainment System when I was like 5 or 6. And we just had Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt initially. We didn't get any other games. But over the years, before I became a Sega boy, I played a lot of movie property video games. And I remember playing Dick Tracy a lot and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And my favorite was Jaws. That was my favorite movie related NES game.
So mine, I'm thinking a lot about it. Like, generally gifts. I'm sure a lot of you are like me, where generally your gift lists that you ask for are basically movie related things. I
Mhm.
typically ask for books and movies, and that's typically what I get, and I'm thankful for it. So there's nothing exciting there. But the one thing I will say that I got a couple years ago that was really nice was my mom got me a ticket to a screening of Back to the Future in a little town nearby where they live, with a Q&A with Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, nice.
And that was really cool. Being able to go out to that, we kind of like made a night of it and stuff. And the one thing I'll never forget, I don't have one near me, so I can't mime this properly, but I'll never forget that Christopher Lloyd was very sweet, very kind, very like happy to be there and stuff. But he held his microphone in a way, it's kind of hard to mime, but like he held it like here, like straight up and here. So it was really hard to hear him. It was really hard to understand what he was saying. We were all kind of leaning in because he was like very nice and very sweet, but we were all kind of like,
Yeah.
all right, if we all agree to be quiet, he won't need the microphone and it won't be a problem.
So we had another question from Matinee Mode. How would each of you rank your top 5 movies turning 30 this December? Okay, so my number 5, it was a three-way tie technically, but it's for different reasons. Like, so I would go Drop Zone,
Mhm.
which I think is just a fun, dumb action movie. Good, one of the better Wesley Snipes action movies that's not one of the big ones. Um, Richie Rich, I have a lot of sentimental value with because of the Macaulay Culkin of it all, and it was Mac's last ride in '94.
It was.
Yeah,
We were done with him after that.
yeah, and but I think if pressed, my number 5 would be Street Fighter, just because it's had the longest tail for me in terms of me wanting to watch it. There was like a couple of Thanksgivings where like every year me and my cousin would get drunk and watch Street Fighter instead of watching like the Cowboys game. And it was a good tradition that ended only because we had to come across it in the wild, meaning that it had to be on cable. And
Oh,
like
so
for
you
like
couldn't.
2 or 3 years, it was on one of the Stars or Encore action stations on Thanksgiving.
My number five is going to be Little Women.
Okay.
Really, for reasons that are self-explanatory, because it's a great movie, but there's four more above it that I like more.
It's totally understandable.
There you go.
My number 4 is kind of similar to what your commentary was on Little Women. My number 4 would be Nobody's Fool,
Yeah.
which I just saw for the first time this year, I think.
Okay.
And it's a great winter movie, great Paul Newman vehicle, has an awesome supporting performance by an uncredited Bruce Willis. It's just a real cozy
Okay.
slice of life type movie. I like it a lot. My number three is Rudyard Kipling's The Jungle Book, a movie I've kind of been beating the drum for as like one of the most underrated 90s kids movies of the decade. It's like it's Stephen Summers, and he's doing Wes Craven's New Nightmare to The Mummy's Scream. It's basically just an Indiana Jones adventure using the Jungle Book as kind of a impetus to set the thing in motion. But Mowgli's basically Indiana Jones, and there's like a great, like Last Crusade-esque third act. Carrie Elways as a sniveling villain,
Need to rewatch this.
mustachioed Sam Neill. It's
Yeah.
great. My number two will be Dumb and Dumber, which I think is one of the. It's really held up. It's still consistently funny. I was talking to Rosalie over the weekend about how I was saying how this is a long roundabout way of getting to back to Dumb and Dumber, but I was watching Ishtar and I stopped watching Ishtar because I was mad that Dustin Hoffman and Warren Beatty were playing below their intelligence and charisma, and I said that it was annoying. And I said that and I normally don't like that because I was thinking of like Gone Fishing a lot during Ishtar, where I'm just like, I don't want to see Danny Glover and Joe Pesci try to be like Lloyd Christmas and Harry Temple or whatever his name is. Um, and it made me think like, how great is Jeff Daniels' performance in Dumb and Dumber that he somehow finds a way to make it work, and it doesn't aggravate me that this like professional, competent, super talented actor is playing dumb. He's like really, really funny. And I think it's kind of a miracle performance, and it's a really funny movie.
So it was number two, right?
That's my number two.
So my number two is also Dumb and Dumber.
Nice.
And I joke about the whole like movies that grow with you thing a lot, and I feel like the analogy here is when you're a boy, you love the Jim Carrey Dumb and Dumber performance. When
Hmm.
you're a man, you appreciate the Jeff Daniels performance. But yeah, no, it's easily, I've said this before, it's easily my favorite of that Jim Carrey Miracle Run. It's a movie that I watched with my dad 10,000 times when I was a kid. I legit think it still holds up in a way that some of his other movies from that period don't. I think it's the Farrelly Brothers' best movie. I love it. I adore Dumb and Dumber.
It's hard to beat like a cold weather road movie.
It's the best.
Those are the best. My number one is one that you mentioned already. It is Little Women from 1994. It's a movie that is hits me straight in my heart. I love the message of the movie that you can have it all, even if you don't think that you can. And I think Winona Ryder's performance is like one for the ages. I'm a huge fan of hers, but like that's the performance for me of her career.
Our next question comes from Just Call Me Charles.
Hmm.
Is that our friend Monkey?
Yeah, it is Monkey.
Okay. Are there any movies that broke you? Movie that left you so emotionally drained, no matter how good it was, you decided you'll never watch it again. Also, how was your Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving was lovely. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
Adam, your Thanksgiving? You want to jump in there?
My Thanksgiving was pretty good. I saw A Real Pain, which was good, not great.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it just enough. I did a painting, which I haven't done in God knows how long, and
it's lovely. I saw it.
I kind of have the hooks in me now. Like I just want to keep painting.
Do
So
it.
I think I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be like a big 2025 thing for me. And then yeah, I just spent time with friends and family, and it was really nice. So thank you for asking. I hope Monkey, your Thanksgiving was good too.
Yes.
Um, to answer your question, I can't because the answers I would give are too personal, and I don't want to put that out on the internet. So I will give you a couple of alternate choices. One is Boys Don't Cry,
Mhm.
and one is In the Bedroom, which is the worst movie ever to watch with your mother. And after both movies, I saw them at my neighborhood theater, which has since closed, but it's right next to a California pizza kitchen. And I remember after seeing both of those movies, I went with the person that I was there with to the California Pizza Kitchen, and it was like no talking, and like we basically were trying to enjoy barbecue chicken pizza while, just decompressing from Boys Don't Cry and In the Bedroom.
I have a couple, and I'd have to put a little note on there. I have seen these movies since. It's not that I'd never want to watch them again, but I was definitely at a point where when I first saw them, I was like, "Oh, I need to take a beat before I see these ever again." So
Yeah.
I think they still counts with your question here, Monkey. So Requiem for a Dream is the one I always go to first. I always joke with students that that's like because I show clips from it sometimes, and I always tell them like, if you ever need to stay off of addictive substances, watch Requiem for a Dream.
Mhm.
The much more personal one for adulthood is definitely Paris, Texas. That's the one where I had to really get up and take a walk. Like I had to go, like I had to kind of really physically and psychologically decompress from that movie because it just hit me. So it's not necessarily that because I share that experience, but it's just one of those things where like the movie is just composed in such a way where it just spoke to me so specifically.
I just canceled the reservation at Alamo Drafthouse to see Paris, Texas.
Oh,
I've never seen it. I'll watch it at home. Our next question comes from Michael. I know this isn't a holiday season question, and I apologize. No need to apologize, but thank you. But I've been wondering for the past month if the Diddy accusations, all right, you should have apologized. Anyway, the Diddy accusations in any way affected Adam's feelings about draft day. Should we take into consideration the people involved when we evaluate a movie? So, all right, I'll talk about the draft day of it all, and then I do want to get your take on the
oh,
question at the end, though, Rob. So I think the last time I saw draft day was before the Diddy accusations happened. That being said, he's not such a huge part of the movie that I think it would ruin the movie for me. I think I would just see him and be like, ugh, and then move on. That being said, I'm never going to like seek out anything that Diddy does should he ever have another creative endeavor in his life. Like, I'm never going to listen to like another song he's involved with or see a movie that he's starring in. I'm not going to seek those out. But my take on it nowadays is um, it's hard to keep track of it, all of it. And I heard from a podcast years ago, this guy, this critic from Chicago, Sergio Mims, said if you were to stop watching anything featuring an actor or a director or a creative type that did something bad, you would never watch anything. So it's all just a gut thing. And it's easier just to like stop supporting somebody's latest work as opposed to going back and holding yourself to a moral standard about things that you used to enjoy.
yeah, I mean, it's not, it's, can I still watch Seven because Kevin Spacey's in it? Yes. You know what I mean? Can I still watch Draft Day because Diddy's? Yes. I really do separate art and artists, and I really do think of it as like it's going to be I'm never going to watch Manhattan again. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like because of the very very close relationship between its subject matter and its creatives, accusations and so on and so forth. Um, am I never going to watch a Woody Allen movie ever again? I don't know that I can say that because I love Woody Allen movies. And I would love to sit here and be sanctimonious and promise you it's never going to happen ever again, but I can't make that promise.
Yep.
Am I ever going to watch a movie, again, starring somebody? Am I ever going to watch a movie, a Miramax film from the 90s ever again?
Hmm.
Probably, and,
Yeah.
and if that reflects poorly on me, then so be it. But you make rational, thoughtful choices about the art you consume. I did stop. I mean, one of my favorite stand-up acts of all time, the one that my parents watched, one that my grandparents watched, was Bill Cosby's himself. It was one of my absolute favorite things growing up. I'll
Yeah.
never watch that again because I just can't. That I can't separate him from because it's
Yeah.
just literally him on stage talking. Um, but again, the Diddy example, I'll still watch Draft Day. It's a great movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think just sort of as a viewer, you kind of have to give yourself a certain amount of grace because like you shouldn't be held to a higher moral standard than the person who did the wrong thing and
Right.
you didn't do the wrong thing. So, like for instance, like, am I gonna go see Flight Risk directed by Mel Gibson? Hell no, I don't want to support him. But I did watch a Snapcase DVD of Conspiracy Theory because I was just like, I haven't seen this in a long time and I feel like watching it, and I don't care.
Right.
I'm sorry. Like, if somebody's gonna hold me to a moral standard about that, then that's your business, not mine. All right, our next question comes from our good friend Louis.
Ooh.
If you could invite a cast of characters from any movie over for a holiday celebration, who would you invite? What would be on the menu? And what, if any, activities would you plan?
So mine came to me very, very quickly. And it is the cast of one of my favorite movies, The Princess Bride.
Oh,
It
okay.
would have to be my crew, my friends, right? It would also have to include Fred Savage and Peter Falk as well. They would have to be in there. Um, Even the mom, who's only there in the beginning for a second, she can come too. Um, and in terms of food, I mean, we'd obviously have iocane powder flavored wine. That would be one of the sort of major courses, and then whoever can survive it gets to stay for the rest of the party. But other than that, celebrations would include things like, fencing. Obviously, we would do some fencing. We would play games about, battles of wits and so on. Maybe
Mhm.
a little bit of like wrestling with rocks and things. We would do that, and you know, and climb the cliffs of insanity. I'd have some cliffs installed, and we would have a great time.
So I kind of didn't answer the question while answering the question because
Okay.
I instead of bringing a cast into my world for a holiday celebration, I want to go into a specific movie and celebrate the holidays with them, and that's You've Got Mail. I want
Okay.
to be in New York in winter and fall of '98.
Love it.
I want to work at the shop around the corner. I want to be at the Fox Books party. I want to have a caviar garnish. I want to gather around the piano with it's either Jean Stapleton or Maureen Stapleton, I can't remember, while she's singing, songs and caroling with everybody. I want to make a run at Kathleen Kelly. I'm sorry. If
Yeah.
Hanks is going to be so deliberate about it, I'm just going to swoop right in and cut to the chase. I'm going to
Yeah.
be like, "Look, I'm a man, you're a woman. Now we're around the same age. What's up?" All right, next question comes from Chris. My daughter was haranguing me about Die Hard not being a Christmas movie. I'll concede, not to her though, that Christmas is a thin veneer over Die Hard. So if you could, which action movie would you reset to take place at Christmas time? He'd pick Roadhouse with the bar band playing Christmas songs.
Um, Die Hard is 100% a Christmas movie, but we don't need to have that
Yeah,
discussion.
I don't want to ever hear this debate ever again
Yeah,
because
we're all done.
it's like being deliberately obtuse.
Um, so I picked two. Um, the first one that popped to my mind, I when I think about this, I think about okay, I want to combine action movies with Christmas time, right?
Mhm.
And I think about like, well, what do I want? I want cozy. I want cozy action. I don't want anything like too. I don't want to watch like fucking like Ronin or something crazy serious or like anything. You know what I mean? I
What
want to
about
watch like
47 Ronin?
I don't know. John Wick doesn't feel right to me. Just too.
Yeah.
So I went with Beverly Hills Cop,
Okay.
a mix of comedy, a mix like I want to see Eddie in there, kind of like a Beverly Hills Cop movie set at Christmas time. I think would be
Mm.
really fun. I also wrote Mad Max Fury Road on here um, because I just want to see if Christmas still exists in that universe.
Mine are I didn't do a whole lot of research. I just looked at my action movies, like some of them, like whichever ones were facing me on the shelf, and I was like, okay, I'll pick out a couple here. So one that I saw was I Am Legend, and I kind of want to see like what the last man on Earth would do to celebrate Christmas by himself when he has to thwart off vampires.
Yeah,
I think it would be
I'd
interesting.
be into that.
It would feel like a Twilight Zone episode. It would be kind of cool. And then the other one, and this is just for the pun, the Crow, because you could have Crowsmas, or you could have Christmas with the Crows, and you could have like Eric Draven and Ash from Crow City of Angels, and it's like Eddie Furlong Crow, Eric Mabius Crow, Christmas with the Crows.
You could also have like the giant hot dog and like, but like, they're like sticking out of the stockings. Like I imagine like the giant hot dogs sticking out of the stockings. Like
All right, and then our last question comes from J Rock on the road. What are your thoughts on Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas? It's a traditional seasonal must-watch with my family. So you've not seen
I've
this.
not seen it. This is all you, my friend.
Okay, it's on Amazon Prime. This was my first time watching it. And I would like to issue a thank you to J-Rock for putting it on my radar. It was just something I never got around to watching. I had heard of it. This movie, this short, it's 53 minutes, so it's like a short or holiday special. It destroyed me, but in a good way. Like it was exactly what I needed yesterday. And I just found it really, really moving and sweet and adorable. And I've listened to the duet at the end of the short or the special about a handful of times yesterday. It made me cry, made
Wow.
me smile. I my go-to holiday short every year is Mickey's Christmas Carol. And now I have, a back-to-back to go to in the future. I ordered it immediately on Amazon, and my DVD is coming tomorrow. So thank you for the recommendation. It was the best recommendation I think I've ever gotten from an F This Movie listener.
Hey.
I loved it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
now
can't
I have
say
to
enough
watch
good
it.
things about it. Yeah.
I'll watch it after I finish my Brutalist rewatch later.
So is the intermission baked into the runtime, or is it the runtime and the intermission is on
Well,
top of the runtime?
no, at our screening, the intermission was baked into the runtime. It's like 15 minutes.
Okay, I gotta say something weird because we're talking intermissions real
Cool.
quick.
Do it.
So I signed up for Paramount Plus with Showtime because it was $2.99 a month for 2 months for Black Friday. So I look at the thing where it says on now and it was The Hateful Eight. So I started watching The Hateful Eight. I think I'm the only person who does this, but I try to recreate the roadshow experience whenever I watch The Hateful Eight at home. So I will like listen to the overture, then
All
I'll
right.
watch the movie. I remember where it paused for the intermission. I will wait the 15 minutes and I will listen to the Crystal Gale song that played
Oh,
over the intermission. I am such a nerd, but that's the only way I want to watch it.
my friend. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yeah, thank you everybody for your questions. We really appreciate it. I love the holiday mailbag more
Cool.
so than any other mailbag during the course of the year because it's festive. Anyways, but we'll be back next week with a holiday Good Genes episode. It's three movies that were playing in December during the holiday season. They didn't have to necessarily be released in December, but they were playing in December in their respective years. Patrick's going to be joining us, and we're going to be talking about Mystic Pizza, Ghost, and Mouse Hunt. So until next time,
Jingle jangle, motherfuckers.
jangle the jingle, MFers, Wild Stallions,
Wild Stallion. San Dimas
or
says
no, Lone
football
Lone
rules.
Rangers.
Ranger.